All right, so today we are going to talk about how we can read an English magazine during your summer vacation. So, as I mentioned in the very first step, like we can check the vocabulary and try to memorize the keywords before we get into a new article. And then the second step will be you try to read the article and finish the exercise we have on the magazine. And then for the third step, as I just showed you, we can watch the online teaching program and try to take notes and try to write down some important details. And then for the next step, we can move on to write down at least 5 new words or phrases with their definitions on your notebook. And for definitions, you can choose to write this one in English, or you can also try to write this one in Chinese. Basically, it'll help you to understand what those words mean, like in terms of like its meaning. All right, so we focus on the meaning of the words here. So there'll be something like this one. So firstly, on your notebook, on each page or on each section, firstly, write down the date of the article, and then you write down the title of the article. So in this case, there will be why do humans and bears cross paths so often? And then for the very first one, the first part, all right, you try to take notes and write down some important information we have here. And then for the second part, you try to write down the words or phrases that you think are important, at least 5. Okay, 5 words or 5 phrases. And you try to write down the definitions or some kind of like it's Chinese or English definition will be fine. And then we'll move on to the very last one, which is copy one sentence from each paragraph that shows the most important information. In other words, you are going to copy the topic sentence, which is a key sentence. So what is a topic sentence? A topic sentence will be the most important sentence in the paragraph that tells you almost everything or some basic information or some general information about the paragraph. So in this case, for the article we have here, so do you still remember how many paragraphs we have for this article? Please type your answer in the chat box. How many how many paragraphs do we have for this article? Please type your answer in the chat box. We have, 3 paragraphs, right? This is paragraph 1, this is paragraph 2, and this is paragraph 3. So in other words, how many sentences are you going to copy and write it down? Please type your answer in the chat box. Yes, exactly. 3 sentences. And the sentence has to be the most important sentence in the paragraph. So we can take a look at the very first paragraph here to be an example. Let's take this one as an example. So in places like the US state or Alaska, people often come across bears while they hike through the woods. Most wild animals try to avoid humans. So what makes bears different? Which one do you think is the most important sentence? Actually, we only have 2 sentences here, right? In places like the US state, Alaska, and the second sentence here, there'll be another sentence we have here. So this sentence or this sentence, which one is more important? in terms of the information we are going to talk about in this article. This is sentence 1, this sentence 2. We can take a quick vote. So if you think sentence 1 is more important, please type 1. If you think sentence 2 is more important, please type 2. Wow, you are quite clever. You're quite smart. Yeah, basically because the article we are going to talk about why we will kind of encounter or kind of bump into those bears so often. So in this case, we're talking about what makes bears different, all right? And you are also going to do the same thing for the second paragraph and the third paragraph. So you try to pick out the topic sentence, the most important sentences from each paragraph. And then there'll be something like this. Wait a second. So copy one key sentence from each paragraph that shows the most important information, all right? Then there'll be something like this one. So we take notes first, and then after we watch the listening program, online program, or teaching program, we try to copy or write down the 5 words or phrases at least, all right? And then we try to copy down or write down. We try to write down the sentences from each paragraph, and those sentences will be the sentences like a topic sentence, which shows the most important information in a paragraph, all right? So basically, you will have 3 sentences. So on your notebook, you can try to make one day for 1 page, or probably you can try to kind of, I don't know how you are going to manage your notes in a clear way or in a clean way or in a neat way. But basically, there will be all the elements you have to have for each section. So the date of the article, and then the title of the article, all right? And the notes you take while you listen to the online program or the teaching program. And the second part will be the key phrases or words or some keywords you think they are quite important, at least like 5 words or 5 phrases. And then this one will be the topic sentences from the topic sentence from each paragraph mainly, all right? So there will be 3 parts for your magazine reading notes, all right? So let's go back to the steps we had here very quickly. So for the very first one you had to do here is that firstly, let's go check the vocabulary first and try to memorize the keywords. And then the second step will be you read the article and try to finish the exercise we have there. So basically, after you memorize the keywords and then you have kind of have some basic understanding of the article, when you watch the online teaching program, or you can just listen to it. When you listen to the online teaching program, basically, you have some basic understanding of the article already. So that will lower the difficulty of English listening for you. So probably it will help you to listen to the program or watch the online teaching program in a kind of easy way. So make sure you check the vocabulary first and try to read the article first, especially if there's some exercise, you can try to finish the exercise. And then once you're done with your reading, you move on to listening or watching the online teaching program to help you improve your listening. And also you can try to take some important notes. You think there are some important details you have to memorize or you have to know as a high school student. Then after you watch the online programs, make sure you write down at least 5 new words or phrases with the definitions on your notebook. So there will be the second part of your note, right? And for the third part, you have to copy 1 key sentence from each paragraph that shows the most important information. So for example, we just finished reading an article, and that article, there are like 3 paragraphs. So which means you are going to copy 3 sentences from the 3 paragraphs and 1 sentence from each paragraph, all right? Then after you finish your notes, it's very good for you to practice your speaking. So as you can see, like probably when you try to read the articles at the very first step, probably you have some difficulty, especially when you see some of the words that you probably don't know how to read it out. Then they'll be good if you go back to listen to the soundtrack from the online teaching program and try to read aloud the article sentence by sentence. So probably you can just switch to the part of the part that shows how that I kind of try to read aloud the article, and then you try to can kind of pause and sentence by sentence and try to read aloud the article sentence by sentence with its soundtrack. And in this case, it will help your kind of listening a little bit. So there will be something you can do like, sorry, I just turned kind of off anyway. Wait a second. All right, so usually there'll be a part like this one. They'll try to read through the article for you. So you can do something like this.
Bears, then moving along flat ground. Bears understand this, and they try
So then you pause. Bears understand this.
to use as little energy as possible while they hunt for food.
And they try to use as little energy as possible while they hunt for food.
In other words, bears prefer to stick to even ground that is free from obstacles.
In other words, bears prefer to stick to even ground that is free from obstacles. All right, so you try to listen and try to read aloud each sentence. All right, and this way will help you to improve your listening and also your speaking at the same time. All right, so there will be the very last step you can do for this one. All right, so try to read aloud the article sentence by sentence with its soundtrack. All right, just as what I did, just as what I show you. All right, so there'll be roughly about all the things you have to do for this one. So probably we can take a quick look at the notes you are going to have. Like this one, there will be the date and the title of the article, and then there will be the notes you take from the online teaching program, and then 5 keywords or phrases, all right? And then there will be the topic sentence from all the paragraphs we have for the articles, all right? So they will be all for your information, I think you have to pay attention to for your summer vacation assignments. So do you still have any other question? So there'll be something like this, right? So there'll be the date of the article and the title of the article, and then the notes you take from the online teaching program, some keywords or phrases, and then here will be the topic sentences from each paragraphs, or from all the paragraphs. All right, so one topic sentence from one paragraph. All right. So probably I can have a quick check here for you. So if you are going to read an article and there are 4 paragraphs, how many keywords are you going to write down? Please type your answer. You are going to read a 4-paragraph article. So how many keywords are you going to write down at least? I mean keywords. So it should be, it should be 5 keywords at least, right? Then how many sentences are you going to write down? Yeah, 4 sentences, right? So how many sentences are you going to copy from one paragraph? Yeah, 1 sentence from 1 paragraph. So in total, how many sentences are you going to have for this one? Yeah, 4 sentences. And how many words are you going to write down at least? Yeah, 5 words. All right. So please try to do it in the right way for this assignment. All right. So if you don't have any further question, probably I can stop here a little bit, and there will be one more thing you have to do before I let you go. So please wait a second.